Hi and welcome to the Pete's Fishing NZ. What I'm going to do today is just for people who are getting new into the sport is just do some basic traces, show what they are, show what they're called, in the hope that it might be useful for people who are getting into the sport of fishing. I'm going to show 4 different basic sort of rigs, give the names and talk a little about how they're used. First one we're looking at here is a Strayline rig. Okay, so this is basically what he looks like. A Strayline rig's just a free floating sort of a rig. Trace will be 3 to 6 feet. Usually has a couple of hooks on it, and you can have a bit of flashy material or shiny material around one of the hooks if you want. That's what I've got in this case. And the bait that you'll put on for something like that will be a pilchard or a half pilly. And usually tie that on using a bit of bait cotton, and just cast this rig out behind the boat, or the kayak in my case, and basically it's a pretty free floating sort of thing. It'll gently drift down to the bottom. In my case I've added about 1/8 of an ounce sinker here just to help it get down there a bit quicker, but it's generally an unweighted or very lightly weighted sort of a rig. Okay, so that's a Strayline. This one here is the traditional style ledger or dropper rig. Okay, they use the names interchangeably. Where there's a bit of shiny material stuck around the hooks here, they call that a bit of flasher material, and they're also known as a flasher rig for that reason. They can have 2 or 3 hooks on them for all-round fishing. And certainly the Bay of Plenty area, I tend to use something like a 4-bar O, couple of hooks on there, just comes down and you've got your sinker down there that'll take it down to the bottom. And typical 20 to 30 metres, 3 or 4 ounces is all you need. Okay, so that's another common rig, flasher, dropper, ledger, you can call them any of it. Next one along is a method that's become increasingly popular, and this is called a softbait setup. Now, a softbait setup uses basically an artificial bait. It goes onto a weighted head, which is this fella here. You have a bit of trace that's just up where I've got the end of the trace tied to, and you slide on one of these fellas, just a plastic or artificial lure, come in a packet. You cast them out, give them a little bit of work or action on the bottom, and it's another quite common technique that's used with the fisher. I'm going to show you one more which has become increasingly popular. It's this fella here, called basically a slider rig. Okay, again you're on anywhere between 3, 4, maybe 5 feet of trace. This is weighted, anywhere usually between 40 and 100 grams. I tend to fish about 40 for what I'm doing. I'm going out not deeper than 20 metres. Extraordinarily sharp hooks on them. As I found out, probably the sharpest hooks rather I've ever struck. But it's been effective on getting onto the snapper. So if you're getting new into the sport, those are 4 of the basic rigs for the job. Happy fishing.